Welcome back guys, Nav from BirKlean Detailing. We're back on YouTube, we've got a new film crew, ready to get some more content for you guys. So today, something different, not a BMW, we have a 2011 G55 AMG. As you can see, and you'll see in some of the clips, it's in a poor state. But what we're going to do first, get all the muck taken off, give it a full decon wash, and then we'll inspect the paint and we'll move on to polishing. So guys, we're just going to give you a little quick walk around on the car, what we're going to do, what we expect from it. So starting off, we're going to give all the wheels, the arches, a really deep clean. As you can probably see, it's a lot more built up in there. The wheels we're just going to give a light once over so they're relatively clean for handling, and what we'll do when the car is inside, we'll get all four wheels off, give them a good deep clean, and then we'll ceramic coat them and we'll fit them back up. Moving around, as you can see, the car hasn't been cleaned in a long time. I can't even tell you how long, but we're going to go around, clean all the door jambs before we actually move on to the paintwork. We'll use an undercarriage cleaner as well, just to loosen up any debris, any mud, muck again. Just trying to restore this car back to its former glory, get it look presentable. Customer's owned this car since it was 1 year old, I think it was. He's pretty keen, he likes this older shape compared to the new one, so once it's cleaned up and to our standard, it'll look a lot more presentable when it's on the road. Especially these exhaust tips here, don't look like they've ever been cleaned or polished, but we're hoping that we'll get them back to chrome. As you can probably see around here, we've got a lot of build up of algae and moss, and there's also in the channels around the roof as well. There are a couple accents on the car, like the lens covers and indicators, which I would like to replace and change. We have got prices for them, but the customers just want to see what we can do with what we have, and then we'll assess that with the customer, and if he's not happy or he thinks he wants to just change them, we'll get those replaced at a later date. Again, not much on the outside. Engine bay, we'll probably inlay a clip. We'll give that a once over as well. We won't go too deep because there's a lot of exposed wires on there, and then we'll give it a final wipe down once the car is inside, and then we'll move on to a lovely clean interior. As you can probably see, the bolster's worn, and we're either going to see if we can get a second-hand seat, or at a later date again we'll get this seat removed and we'll take it to an upholsterer and get it sort of brought back to life, and then we'll move on to the interior and give it a full deep clean. So now with that all explained, let's get on with the cleaning process. Like I said, we're going to start with the wheels and arches, and then we'll move on to all the door shuts, the door jambs, engine bay, and from that, after that's done, we'll move on to the paintwork and get that all cleaned up. Well, as you've seen, we've done a light clean on the wheels. We only done that kind of clean, like I said in the beginning, was just to help maneuver the wheels once the car's inside. Just stops our hands getting grubby. And we've gone around all the door shuts, side steps, gave the exhaust a light clean, and then we'll spend more time once it's inside polishing. We've done the engine bay and flushed out all the arches as well. So now we're just going to move on to the exterior of the car. So we're going to do a citrus clean, we'll rinse it down, we'll then put some more citrus, a layer of snow foam, and we'll go work in all the rubbers, all the gaps, just to get rid of the heavy build-up. We'll then put another layer of snow foam, let that sit, give it a rinse, and move on to our contact wash. And after the contact wash, we'll do our chemical decon wash, which is iron remover and tar and glue. Once that's done, we'll dry the car, get it inside, and start clay barring. Well, that's the wash process all done. We've done our thorough exterior deep clean. So we went around with our citrus cleaner and spray and just went in all the gaps just to remove any algae and mold that was sitting around in the hard to reach areas. And then we done our chemical decon, which was the tar remover first, and then we gave the car a thorough rinse, and then we moved on to our iron fallout, which is all the purple sort of pinky residue that you see falling off the paint. And now that that's all been done and rinsed, we then use some filtered water, poured it all over the car just so whenever we get any drips it doesn't leave any hard water stains. And now what I'm doing is just clay barring the car to make the paintwork smooth. Even though we've done a good thorough clean, the paintwork can still be contaminated. As you can see, clay bar's changing color now, which means it's picking up contamination. But once you feel the paintwork after, it's nice and smooth, ready for us to machine polish. Welcome back to day 3, guys. Moving on with the G55. Yesterday we had carried on with, well, not carried on, started with polishing on the car. So on the driver's side, we masked up all the trims, wiped the whole car down, inspected it with the light, and started with our pad and polish combination. So the majority of the driver's side is done. What we're going to do today is show you before and after and the processes on this side of the car. Moving on, guys, we are going to prepare the car for polishing. So we're just going to mask up all the rubber edges, the door handles, any plastic trims that can get damaged while polishing. Once I get it all masked up, we'll show you the condition of the paintwork and we'll jump into machine polishing. Now that we've masked up the car, we're going to just show you guys the condition of the paintwork. In my eyes, I don't think it's that bad because one, the client didn't really wash the car much, which means that big massive dirt layer that was on top of the car has kind of protected it some ways. In terms of the swirl marks, the contamination was very heavy because of the dirt. But having a look under the light, obviously there's a massive amount of swirl marks, but not many deep scratches, which is a good thing. So we have done a test area on the other side of the car for our pad and polish combination, which works very well. And that got rid of all the swells. And the customer was very happy. He didn't want to progress any further than that. Here again, just showing you, it is heavily swelled, but once we get rid of that, it'll get rid of the greyiness, the dullness of the paintwork and bring it back to a very glossy, shiny finish without any scratches or swirl marks. Just finished doing our first pass on this area. It's just for the purpose of the video, just to show you guys the difference between having your car machine polished and not having it done. As you can see from the clip where we've put a masking tape line just to give you the 50-50 split, I would say 70% of the defects have gone and you can actually see the true color of the car now. Obviously there are some slightly deeper scratches left behind. Once we get working back on the panel, we'll give it a few more passes. Those will significantly disappear. But overall, it's a very big improvement and that's what the customer had asked for. And that's what the customer has got. So we're going to just get cracking on with the rest of the car now. As you saw, we've just done some 5-inch machine polishing down here. We're going to do a 3-inch machine polishing around these, they are B pillars, and then we'll move on to a 1-inch going around into smaller intricate areas. As you can see, we've got some nice, clean, fully refurbished wheels. We had them done by our local powder coaters. We got the car in the air, got all 4 wheels off the ground, took them all off, sent them off. They weren't actually in a bad condition. They weren't curbed at all. They just had a bit of sort of lacquer failure over the times. Obviously this car was built in 2011 and it's never been done since then. It wasn't really looked after as well. But now that we've got them back from the powder coaters, you can see some overlaid images of what they looked like before. We've then ceramic coated them with a 2-year ceramic coating, all the barrels, the faces, inside the wheel bolt holes. As you can see, the wheel bolts are a bit mucky and we have advised the customer to get those changed. He just doesn't want to do them right now. And we also replaced the center caps, which were shockingly horrible, with some fresh, genuine Mercedes ones. As you can see, the exhaust tips are now nice and silver, well, as silver as possible. Obviously over the years they have taken a beating, so there is some permanent damage to the exhaust tips, and the only way to replace them is actually going to an exhaust shop and having them cut off and new ones welded back on. And on the paintwork, we clay barred the car after we gave it a full decontamination wash. We also done our machine polishing work, which was a 2-stage machine polish. Went with a heavy cut, finished off with a finishing polish to refine the paintwork down to a near new condition. As you can see, all the swirl marks are gone now, and the depth of the paintwork, I believe it's Obsidian black, just looks 100 times better. And coming around to the back of the car, we also had the spare wheel cover, which is going to throw in an image of what it looked like before. It was damaged, like reversed into a pole of some sort, and was starting to rust. So we sent that down to our body shop. They did a really good job on it, and now looks like new, and we saved hundreds of pounds by doing that. So coming to the inside of this G55, it's looking a whole lot better. I feel a lot more comfortable sitting inside compared to what it looked like before. You'll see we removed the front seats just to make sure we could get underneath, and folded down the rear seats as much as possible to get to all the hard to reach areas. Obviously all the grubby areas, we used a lot of different brushes, different chemicals, just to get into where the buildup of muck was. Honestly, you just didn't want to sit in this car before, but now it just feels like a fresh brand new car. So being open and honest, these are not genuine Mercedes parts. Reason being is they're around £200 plus VAT each. We had a look online on eBay and we actually found a UK seller selling an OE replacement. Moving on to the front, we also replaced the indicators on the front section. Again, might be hard to pick up on the camera, but they are very worn out compared to the new ones. So I thought it'd be a nice little touch just to replace those. Yeah, it was just, this is the car. We're going to show you some footage and some cinematic shots, but it's been a hard project, but we finally got there. Some other little bits to do, like I said, but we'll get on with those at a later date. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Drop us a comment below. Let us know what you thought of the video. Anything else that you'd like to see. But look, it's a change. It's a Mercedes. It's not a BMW now, so we're venturing out. Thanks.